we always had that locked in connection.
Yes, we did.
We used to be sometimes though. I remember you used to be like, Joy, you're not talking to me?
Yeah.
But that was necessary because I will say.
You not talking to her was necessary?
No. The reason why we wasn't talking is because I was upset with whatever coaching or guidance she was trying to give me. Because Longchamp always threw gems and just
you ain't never lied.
So at the time, I'm still a little
hesitant in receiving it.
Yeah. Still, I'm working on it. But at that time, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because you thought you was growing and nobody could tell you nothing.
Nothing. He was not receiving anything from anyone. Yeah. But I mean, we go through that. Mm-hmm. And the great thing about teaching is that I see myself in my students. So I tend to...
Oh, that's why you used to hand it to me on the platter?
On the platter. Yeah. It's love. It's all love.
I used to be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But I wasn't bad though, was I?
No. I don't think they are
slick.
Bad.
Slick.
Out the mouth.
I don't think that just...
You still are. I ain't gonna say what.
So what was I? We passed it. You can say what you want to say.
Oh, I said what I wanted to say before. You're very... Ooh. Let's see. To put it in a nutshell, I believe that you're very headstrong. You're stubborn. However, when you feel like it's coming from a place of love, you tend to receive it better. Immediately after you receive it, you're very apprehensive, but then you take time, you reflect. And what I do like about you is that you do come back. You come back after you've reflected, and then you say, okay, I see what I did wrong. Sometimes the word sorry won't come out, but you'll be remorseful, and then you'll see change action slowly.
So, hold on. Since I'm not familiar with you, Miss Longchamp.
Yeah.
B.
B. So what subject you teach, what school, all that?
Okay.
He's very federal.
Yeah, right? So I teach English language arts. Now I teach AP, Lang, and Lit. Yes, I taught dual enrollment before. I'm not going to say the school, high school, but I taught them. I could say that school. Turner Tech is where I taught. You know what? Yeah, I'll say my school. Now I'm at iTech. iTech is a very small school. We have about 268 students there.
Small.
They're very small.
Is it
9th grade through 12th grade.
Is it like a prep?
It is kind of like a prep, but it's a public school. But it's the niche is tech. So we have geospatial, we have business, ERP. We also have coding. So it's that small niche, which we need. And it's a great asset in the community because we are in Little Haiti and we don't have sports, just like Turner Tech. We don't have sports. We don't have auxiliaries.
But they can branch off.
They can definitely branch off to other schools. But what I love about it is it's a lot of, I guess, majority of the school is people of color, kids of color, scholars of color, but they are going into tech, which is the new age anyway. So yeah, I'm all for it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you said I wasn't bad. I mean, I don't think I was bad. I can remember though, not with you, just with another teacher. When our principal, he had said he was going to put me in this lady's class. And she was like, is he a bad kid? And he was like, well, he can't come to my class. And I didn't know at the time that he was actually helping me. He was definitely helping me by putting me in her class. And he personally put me in this lady's class. And I will say that I kind of beat myself up a little bit about this because I could have really locked into my potential to grow in that class because it was drama class. And I could have really soared. But I will say this, and I've said this before, I was still trying to find myself and who I was as a person and being comfortable with myself. So doing that, I didn't want to do that. Yeah. But if I would have did that, it would have just made me way more confident. I was already him in high school. Yeah. It would have added on to that. And then it would have also created a new generation of that and everybody being comfortable You know what I mean?
Of course.
So, I mean, I always beat myself up about that opportunity.
Well, I say show yourself grace. It happened. You
We just talked
experienced
about
it.
that.
Show yourself grace. Let it go. Take the jewels that you retrieve from that experience, and then change your actions. That's the only thing you can do. Because if you harbor on it, then the energy is going to fester in a negative place, and then there's no room for growth. So you got to let it go. Take what you take from it. All right. Okay. And move on.
You seem like a cool teacher. I wish I was
Yeah, she definitely was. Definitely, and be like this, like y'all.
She stood on
business.
business.
Y'all better be quiet. Y'all finna get out. Definitely, I love Miss Longchamp, and she taught like. She wasn't just like. She understood who she was teaching.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of the time she kind of like matched the energy, but still taught her class, and I think that. Teachers don't do that. Like they okay. So for an example, you can have a Caucasian teacher, and she's teaching a group of Black kids. Her upbringings and how she probably learned and how she is probably does not reflect the people that she's teaching. So then it's like you have to kind of like shift how you do things so that your students can learn, but still teach at the same time. And Miss Longchamp was able to grasp that concept, I feel, and thrive. Even teaching Caucasian students, everybody felt comfortable in her class. Period.
But I think the thing was like, and this might not make sense, but like I don't feel like she was like teaching at us. Like she was teaching
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
like it wasn't like a.
Oh, I was saying like I feel like she wasn't like, you know how somebody is like talking at you instead of like trying to like talk with you.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like she was teaching at us. She was just like you were saying, like she taught us like in fun ways. We played games to learn certain things. Like it wasn't like a hard environment. Like, yeah.
Oh, this is nice.
It was a safe place.
I'm getting all these flowers.
No, definitely. It was definitely a safe place. Everybody wanted to be in your class. Everybody wanted to know who you were.
I just really believe like when you're interacting with people, sometimes the energy may be off, but always present yourself in the humanly most way possible. Because automatically when people see you, they have their own perceptions of you. You can't deny like the perceptions that we all have. Prejudgments, right? Mm-hmm. But when you introduce yourself to a person, and not even verbally, even non-verbally, you just show up as you, and people can see your authentic self. People know when you are your true self. People can tell if you're just, fluffing up stuff. Like they can tell. So I think the thing that I love about the youth, I know I'm going to sound old right now, but the thing I like about the youth is that you guys are so honest. So that honesty, I love it, because even if you were taught manners and you're taught, okay, I'm not supposed to talk back or I can't respond the way I respond, the nonverbals speak volumes. So I just love that, because once you start getting in the age of, I don't know, your 20s and 30s, even your 40s, you learn how to mask nonverbals. You're taught different skills on how to, have a poker face and be stoic. So yeah, and then you gotta love what you do. How can you be a teacher and you don't love kids? I don't get it. Yeah, it's not like they pay you enough to be in this South Florida economy. So why do it if you don't love it? Right.
But a lot of people do things that they don't love.
Yeah.
A lot of people do it. And
Ooh, that's a nice segue about love.
It sucks because you're whatever you're doing, you're supposed to be in it. You're supposed to be really locked into it. But a lot of people do things just to do it, just to, I don't know, just to have that income. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times people don't find things that they love. People don't find people that they love. They just want to be in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Temporary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Temporary fix.
So let me ask you this. Going into it, what are some of your deal breakers just in a relationship?
Ooh. Ha, right in there. Deal breakers. Oof. Well, I'm at the tender age of my 4th decade now. Um,
Where?
so my experiences, and of course, things that you would accept when you're younger versus being in your 40s are very different. I think for the most part, you have to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing who you are is the first rule because you're going to change. You're going to evolve. Your experiences are going to shape you, and what you like in your teens versus your 20s and various decades that follow is going to shift.
Right.
So things that I know for sure that I look past back then are red flags. Like I would be like, oh, it's a carnival. It's not red flags. No, it's pink. And I would totally, like, if the person met the package that I want, because I was mostly, when I was younger, it was about physical attributes. I'm not even gonna lie. It was about physical attributes. And then I would say, okay, he got money, okay.
Ooh.
Then I would say, okay, he got money. I could bypass some certain things because he look good and he got money. Win-win. And then when you start to ignore those red flags, and it keeps, you keep experiencing certain things, and it's like, okay, let me refocus, let me reshift my focus, and let me really see who I am and understand who I am and whose I am. And by that, you start to really focus on the qualities that add to what you have, because I believe that no one can bring you peace, no one can bring you happiness. You already should have that embedded in you, and someone is going to come and add. When you feel like it's being depleted, I feel like you need to exit. I'm all about reciprocity. So if our first quarter,
I hope these people understand the words you're saying.
well, reciprocity is like give and take. It's like reciprocal, like in math. You got 1/1 = 1. See, 2/2 = 1. Like it's about that reciprocity, that give take. Like I cannot honestly continuously pour into you, and then my cup is being empty, right? Then I have nothing left for me. I'm not good for anyone. So my first thing is you have to, as crazy as this sounds, you have to be selfish about you. You have to know what you want, know what you like, know what's necessary to add to what you already have. Once you know who you are, then nobody can come and play with your face. No one can come and shake, because people before you, they have really paved the way for you to be where you are now. Could you imagine your parents, your guardian, they poured into you so that you can be where you are now, and then some piece of person come and definitely start to deplete what that village has poured into you? No, we're not gonna do that.
And a lot of people lose their stuff in relationships.
Yes.
But I feel like relationships back then and relationships now are like completely different, because then like people like our grandmas and great grandmas, like they used to fight hard for their relationships. Like if he do something that was like crazy, they would still stay and fight because they believed that they could work it out.
Right.
But now it's like, okay, we see something that we don't like and peace.
I feel like that's true, but the dynamics have changed, as you said, because women in the workforce back then, they didn't have the opportunities that we have now. We're more independent. Women they got an education, they got the jobs, whatever, but still, we're still fighting today to have equal pay. We're still fighting today to have certain things that men are privy to. So when we think about why our parents stayed, why our grandmother stayed, why our aunties and our mama stayed, it's because they had to stay because of financial reasons. They felt like if they left, then who's going to come and bring this up? And then the mentality of, someone else coming in and picking up these kids. I had 3 kids. Who's going to want me with these 3 kids? Or someone picking up the bills. Who's going to want to pick up this responsibility if they are not tied with these kids? So I think, in my opinion, things have definitely changed because women are more independent. Now, is that a pro or a con? That's a whole nother topic.
I feel, though, as if it could be like a con on men's behalf, because if you're in a household and like let's say the woman is the breadwinner or the sole provider, that messes with men egos.
Oh yeah.
And they do crazy things and start treating you different. And it's like, I mean, it's not my fault that I'm the sole provider of the household.
What you think?
I don't know. I think that
because men do have egos, like large
ones. Before we can even get to the household, before we can even talk about a man and a woman that is living together and doing that, having those type of problems, we have to start, I feel, with how people see things on social media. And they take those things and feel like they need to bring that into their household. Oh, I don't take me this place because I need to.
Oh God, that is.
Yeah.
And don't do this. And I feel like those things play a big role in what we're talking
and
about.
And people need to like really sit down and understand that social media is not a real place. Like if somebody is 19 and moved out and living on their own, that don't mean just because you're probably 25 and still living with your parents, it's like, okay, you probably feel like you should have accomplished that by now, but that's not your path. So you don't have to, oh, well, let me hurry up and find a place and then be broke and then go back to live with your mom.
But what I do find it is like, I be talking to like certain women, and they just be quoting stuff straight out the social media page. Man, if he not providing for you, he not worth your time. I'm like, but at the same time, you got to build a relationship. Everything's about growing, and building. I think nowadays is more of like, if you can't provide for me, I'm gonna just leave. I feel like that's more common now than instead of just building with somebody. So I think that's one of the cons for nowadays, and that's like one of my deal breakers in the relationship would be someone that's so quick with it to leave, or like always got something to snap back instead of learning, processing how somebody else is.
You know what? I think what it boils down to is a man, and this is my opinion, a man not bringing that energy to the woman like, okay, I love you, hear me out, but this is what we're going to do. And I feel like men don't instill in the woman that he has it. So it leaves her mind wandering, and then I feel like that's when she feel like she can say, okay, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, we're not gonna go this, we're not gonna go that. But I feel like if a man just approaches a woman with the energy and the intent to actually be there for her, I don't think she would care about anything else.
So you mean like him actually being a leader? Like leading her?
A leader.
Not only being a leader, but being vulnerable too.
That too. But let me ask you this. I was listening to a video, and the video was like, women want men who take care of them, who make sure the bills is paid, is caring about them and all those things, but won't listen to him. But she'll go to work and come whenever they tell her to come, do whatever they tell her to do, but why she won't do that with her man?
I think like with women that think that they can walk all over their individual, their person, is because like you said, they don't give leader vibes. Like if you have someone and then you feel like you can just walk all over them, there's a reason for that. Because if you see like people who are in strong relationships and you always see like the man is leading, he presented something to her to show her like, I'm here, like I am a man, I'm going to lead you, I'm going to guide you, and things like that. So I think like if a woman feel like she can walk over you, it's because, and this is probably not the only reason, but from like what I've seen personally, if a woman feel like she can walk over you, it's because of something that you're not doing.
From what I've seen, and I literally have a coworker that's just like this, and when she does, I think it comes down to their parents, how their parents treated them and stuff, and also a woman acts how the man treats them. Like if a man treats her right, she gonna act right. So I feel like it all comes down to the man being a leader, the man doing things what he's supposed to be doing, and also the background of the woman, or how she was raised and how she was treated in the past. You gotta see both of those situations and balance it out. See what, because that's what I've seen in my own perspective.
How could you said see those things and balance it out, but if I'm coming into a situation with a female or whoever, why do I need to, like, if I'm coming to provide and I'm coming to be in a relationship with you, I necessarily have to like see how you were raised and stuff like that. What I'm trying to say is my mom always tells me that I need to take accountability. I cannot go around saying, oh, because my mom didn't do this to me when I was younger, because my mom lacked in this is the way I am. I'm grown now. So I need to be able to say, okay, this is what I want and I need to act on that. But I don't want to say you can't, but you want to say that because I would say not about how she was her upbringings, but how her dad took care of her mom, like how she's seen those interactions.
So I feel like everything that you guys are saying plays a role in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of contributions.
You have to look at pedigree is important. Pedigree is not the end all, but it is important. Basically, what you were saying about how they were raised, how they were brought up, their experiences, what they saw, because they may not have seen the father in the home, their biological father, but it could have been a stepdad in the home or someone else, an uncle that stepped in to show them, okay, this is how a woman should be treated. And on the flip side of that, that impacts the boys as well, the men. We just look at, most of the time we look at the impact of the father not being in a home and how it impacts the daughters, but it also impacts the sons as well. And sometimes people grow up and they have that resentment. It's easy to be in a place where you are now, where you accept accountability and you're able to decipher from, okay, this is how I was brought up. I am an adult now and I should change my behavior. It's easy to say that when you are healed. When you are not healed and you're still suffering from the traumas of your upbringing, you're not going to be in that space. People can tell you till you're blue in the face that maybe you need to go to therapy until you feel like it is essential and necessary, until you get that wake-up call. You're going to blame everyone else, and everyone else, all the other bystanders, they're going to be, unfortunately, the person that gets the wrath. And unfortunately, you're going to sit in that space. So to answer your first question, that is also a deal breaker for me. When you can see that there's certain questions that I ask a person, like, okay, how long have you had your friend? And I know people like, why do you ask that question? Like your friends, the friends you have, who do you have as your friend? If you're in a situation, who can you call to assist you? You need to see people in different states of their life. When death occurs, when they're financially unstable, when they're angry, these are the things that show you the true character of a person, because people will flip out, because those are harsh situations that you have to deal with. And not seeing that side of that person, and imagine you getting married to that person and you see it. And some of them you don't see, unfortunately, until you get married to that person. But then you're sitting there and it's like, this is real. Like this person, mama just died and they are losing it. They are breaking every plate and vase in this house. They losing it. And I can't do anything to get this person out of this space. Or the person is broke. They're being evicted. Their car just got repoed. They are like broke. And I like to say in between blessings. Then you get to see another side of this person. What is this person going to do to get out that situation? Are they going to rob a bank? Are they going to hit somebody across the head? Are they going to, like, those are some real life situations that sometimes you don't end up seeing until you're in the moment with them. But then you have stuff privy to you, like their family. Okay, well, how if everybody family got issues. I haven't met a person's family who's just a clean slate. Everybody's family have issues, but to what extent are the issues?
Right.
How do they deal with their problems? Do they just close in and let it fester? That's another thing. Like some people, they aren't comfortable being vulnerable. You can ask them a million times, what's wrong? What's wrong? Nothing. But their whole behavior has changed. So now you need to see, okay, how are their communication skills? Am I able to deal with that? Am I able to stay in the house with that person for a week on end with the silent treatment? I'm not able to stay in the house with you and we walking by each other and you're giving me silent treatment, but I know something is wrong with you, but you keep telling me nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong, and I have to wait. So those are some things, and it takes a while for you to see certain things from a person because we always come with our representative, right? We don't really show a person who we truly are.
Right.
If the person drinks, how do they act when they're drunk? When they're drunk, how do they go off on a tangent? If the person smokes, how do they act when they smoke? Like, these are certain things. They have kids. Oh, are they in their kids' life? How are they with their kids? Is there an awkward line of communication with their mother of their child or the father of their child? Is there baby mama, baby daddy drama? Those are some things that we don't look at because we are straight tunnel vision when we come into a relationship or we're trying to get to know someone. And then you start to see things pile up, and that's when we start to ignore the carnival and say, it's just a carnival, when really it's red flags all over the place.
Yeah.
So,
but I agree. But like,
you just gotta act to it.
yeah, so like, but like, I have a question to ask, but before I ask the question, just to like go back to what you were saying, like, men do have it hard.
Yeah.
Like, cause we were just talking about this on like a different podcast that we did about men not being able to express themselves and all of that. And in a household where a man is being raised by his mother, I feel that a woman cannot raise a man and a man cannot raise a woman. So there are some men that like growing up, it's only been them, their mom, and probably their siblings. But when they grow up and get older, they do, in their relationships, they do everything that their father didn't do because they saw how it affected their mom or whatever. And they take that path. But then you have those men that do exactly what their dad did. So it's all about the individual and their mindset and how they receive things. Yeah. So like what Dre was saying, you're grown now. So whatever happened to you in the past, it might be trauma and it might still affect you, but that cannot like continue on out your life because it's just going to be a repeated cycle.
I agree. But that's the beauty of you seeing that face forward. The person is showing you this. Why would you continue to be in a relationship with that person?
Right. So now this goes to my next question. So I go to church and my pastor is like very old school and she's like, you should stay home or by yourself until you're married. And I don't know if it's because like I'm in a new generation that I don't think that you really get to see someone until you're living with them. Mm. And if you wait till after marriage, like you said, some things you don't see until after marriage. It's like, okay, we're married, you're not going anywhere, so now I'm about to act a donkey. So do you think that you should wait till after marriage? Like, how do you feel about moving in without being married?
Ooh. Okay. God bless the day. My mom,
Wait,
I grew up.
You're Haitian, right?
I am.
Yeah, I remember. So
yeah.
I that's why I want to ask you.
So my mom, we grew up in a strict Haitian Pentecostal upbringing. Like we couldn't wear pants, we couldn't have our ears pierced, couldn't wear nail polish. What else? You couldn't have a perm. Like it was very, very strict. But when it came to relationships, she actually wanted us to introduce our significant other to her, and she was a little unorthodox when it came to that because that's not typically how it goes in a Haitian household, especially a religious Haitian household. So to answer your question, so I grew up like that, and I was like, my mom and dad, they've been married. Well, they were married. Mom passed away. They were married for 43 years. They were together for even longer. So I grew up in that nuclear family where we had that village system. I had my grandma, my grandpas, all of them transitioned now. But we grew up with that old school, like your mama, your aunties, your cousins.
Right, it takes a village to raise you.
Together, that village, right? So my mom, she tried to preach that we call it placé in Creole. It's like shacking, where you couldn't shack, you couldn't placé. That's a no-no. That's beneath the religion beneath the cause, the culture. And I was like, yeah, it worked for you, Mom. But for me, I'm going to get a little personal. I was in a relationship with someone in the past who love bombed me. And I know love bombing, they just give you all type of love. They listen to you. They basically really, really tune in to the things that you love, and they do it times 100. And the relationship became toxic. To not go in too deep, it's not until I moved in with him that I was able to see certain things, and I was like, whoa, I would not have been able to see that. For me personally, my opinion, and my mom was like, don't say it, but I'm gonna say it. I believe that it doesn't hurt to move in with a person. However, what are your intentions with that person? Where are you guys going? What are you trying to do?
Right.
And be honest with yourself. When I say you have to know thyself, you have to know yourself. Because when you get into that house with that person, both women and men, you tend to shift a little bit to that person's norm. Like both of you guys, you almost shift. And if you're not careful, you will lose yourself. So you have to be very careful and be very honest and authentic with your communication with that person. What do you want? What does that person want? Be honest. Let it out. Because once you get in that house, there's no hiding. There's no hiding. And things are revealed where you're like, whoa. And sometimes, that's another thing too. Sometimes we do have to show other people grace, because sometimes people don't know that they possess certain traits too until it's brought to their attention. So that's something that we can show grace on. But when it comes to me, based on my experiences, what I would do differently based on my experiences though is make it very clear what I want.
Yeah. I feel like it's always important to let somebody know like your intentions and what are you going for, what you're not going for. Just lay it all out on the table.
Yes.
And give them the option to decide what they want to do.
But my mom probably is going to come in my dream later on. But yes, I would definitely agree with shacking. Once you lay that out, let the person know. Because my mom her defense was, her rebuttal was, people can hide when you're living with them too. I say, yeah, but for how long? Right. They can't hide as much as it is when you guys are outside dating. But I will say, do what's best for you. But since you asked me the personal question, me personally, I'm shacking.
Yeah, I would too. Cause like for me, a deal breaker in like one of my deal breakers is like being dirty. I do not like dirty stuff. If you leave in your shoes, your clothes, you don't clean up behind, I do not like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of things you would see that you wouldn't even imagine it bothers you until you're in that house with that person. Like God, you brush your teeth. Why didn't you rinse the sink? It's toothpaste lines in the sink. I'm like, I didn't know that would bother me so much. It's simple things like that. Like, so you're going to leave one square on a toilet roll. Really? You're going to leave one square? The toilet roll right there. You
For real.
could not come and change. And
like, why you put that little bit of juice back in the refrigerator?
Right.
No, wait. You know, my mom had said something to me about that the other day. Why you left this little bit of juice in the refrigerator? Do you understand that the cup have a fill line? I mean, you want, and it was enough drink for somebody else to get something to drink. So now I need to be selfish and drink the carton instead of putting it back in the refrigerator.
But it's a little bit of juice. Like, you might as well have drank it. If you shake it and there's
full. So now I need to pour my cup over just so.
Because believe get another cup.
Get another cup. No. You get what I'm trying to say though? Like,
I get
what you're saying, but
was
like,
it a little?
No, it wasn't. No, you could shake it and it's you could pour it halfway into the next cup.
You probably did it to her in the past, and now she got PTSD.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
But no, I'm like for real. Like, why would you do that? It's like a lot of things that someone does when you're living together. It's like,
and
why?
It's crazy because you wouldn't even think it bothered you. So then, like for myself, I have to check myself. I'm like, wait, am I acting like an old hag? Like, why does this bother me? Like, we got enough Winn-Dixie bags or Publix bags. I don't know
What?
Publix bags in the cabinet. Why you got a whole nother stack of them in the other cabinet?
We just need the bags.
So put them in the same cabinet. Like, I don't know if it's because like one piece that I took from my my dad, he has like real bad OCD. Like he will come from work, put his stuff down, and start sweeping, and there's nothing on the floor. So I got that from him, but like I don't have like OCD like that. Like I'm not like, oh, if it's 3 green oranges and then it's a red orange in the middle, I'm not gonna trip. But like my OCD is not that bad, but I can say that I did take that from him because it's like, why are you dirty?
And see, that's something that you would need to share with someone who's coming into your life, because imagine not sharing that and the person comes and they're all willy-nilly and it's like, what you tripping for? It's like, I did tell you.
But like, why would you think that that's okay?
But because they were allowed to do that when they're in their previous experiences.
That's and no one said anything.
Yeah.
But that is true, because I do feel like you have to teach a person how to treat you.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Because what they were used to in the past
may not be you.
Yeah, like some people, because I've seen people come into a relationship, like my friend, for example, her past relationship with dudes, like she always like got respect. But then a relationship that she did have, like he used to call her like names when they got into arguments, but that's what he used to do before, and they were cool with it, but she's not. So I do feel like you have to teach somebody how to treat you.
Absolutely. That's in every relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
I've been struggling with that with my brothers, like living together, and then to like having to talk to each other. Bro, it's been a struggle lately because now that we're growing up, now that we're going to this stage, this adulthood, I'm the youngest, so now I'm heading to this adulthood. I'm starting to see all that irritating thing, and I be getting into it with my brother and talking about. And then my mom always defending him and all that, and it's just like you're making the relationship worse by trying to defend it when we should talk it out. But yeah, when it comes to deal breaker, the most I think about is like me and my brothers, because we live together, we eat together, we literally have all this time together. And I think that's my most precious and my most like important relationship. Because it's like I wouldn't be who I am without them, and I live with them. They're like 24/7 with me, so it's something very. That's like my most important relationship that I think about.
See, that's something that you would have to tell your mate. Like, listen, I love my brother. Like, so when she says, "Oh, let's go on a date on Friday," you're like, "Babe, we got on Saturday because I already had something planned with my brothers," you know.
Yeah, and then you don't want them to hit you with, you always with your brothers.
Yeah, right.
I told you in the beginning.
Right. Like, I love my brothers. That's my heart. So.
Yeah, but just like for you, like you saying that you grew up with them and you getting older, like they're like, you have to let them relearn you, because what you like when you were a kid, you probably don't like now.
We get into that stage because we have their girlfriends, but I'm single, so it's like they spend most of their time with their girlfriends, and I'm like always by myself, and then it's like get lonely. I'm like, man, why don't you hang out with me? And then they're like, well, we have somebody else that we care for. So then we're learning that language of learn how to love them now than how they used to. I'm learning that more important now because they're spending a lot of time with their girlfriend, and I'm more by myself. When it used to be like the other way, when you all used to hang out together, and now it's different. The whole dynamic changed. So I'm learning from myself, and I think they're starting to understand me a little more. So I think this is like a relationship starting to blossom, and it's like a beautiful thing when it actually works. But when you actually understand the person and the communication and how long lasting this relationship can actually be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. And communication, people always saying communication is key, but like, do you understand what they're saying? Like, you can hear them, but do you understand?
Effective communication. While you're listening. You heard me, but you're not listening. Are you processing?
Right.
Yeah.
Get into it?
Get into it.
I think we got into it.
You got into it?
I think we did.
We got into it.